Martin Luther King Jr., A Journey of Justice and Equality. In the annals of history, few figures have left a more indelible mark on the pursuit of justice and equality than Martin Luther King Jr. His courageous advocacy for civil rights and his unwavering commitment to nonviolent resistance propelled him to become one of the most influential leaders of the 20th century. Join us in Chronicles as we take on a captivating journey through the life of Martin Luther King Jr. and uncover the lesser-known facts that shaped his remarkable legacy. Born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia, Martin Luther King Jr. grew up in a middle-class African-American family. His father, Reverend Martin Luther King Sr., was a prominent pastor, and his mother, Alberta Williams King, instilled in him a strong sense of faith and social justice. Martin Luther King Jr.'s early experience with racism and segregation would profoundly influence his later activism. In his early years, Martin Luther King Jr. witnessed the harsh realities of racial segregation under the Jim Crow laws. At the age of 6, he befriended a white boy, only to be told by the boy's father that they could no longer play together due to racial differences. This incident left a lasting impression on the young Martin Luther, igniting within him a desire to challenge the systemic injustice that divided people based on the color of their skin. Martin Luther King Jr.'s thirst for knowledge led him to excel academically. He skipped 2 grades in high school and went on to attend Morehouse College, where he studied theology and philosophy. It was during his college years that he was exposed to the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi and the principles of nonviolent resistance, which would become integral to his future activism. In 1959, inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr. embarked on a pilgrimage to India. There, he met with various leaders of the Indian independence movement and deepened his understanding of nonviolence as a powerful force for social change. This transformative experience would greatly influence his approach to activism and his unwavering commitment to peaceful protest. The defining moment of Martin Luther King Jr.'s rise as a civil rights leader came with the Montgomery Bus Boycott in 1955, when Rosa Parks, an African-American woman, refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus. The African-American community rallied behind her, and Martin Luther King Jr. emerged as a prominent spokesperson for the movement. Through his powerful oratory and tireless advocacy, he galvanized the nation and laid the groundwork for the civil rights movement. On August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Standing before the Lincoln Memorial, he passionately called for an end to racial discrimination and envisioned a future of equality and harmony. This powerful speech remains one of the most enduring symbols of the civil rights movement and continues to inspire generations. In 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. led the historic Selma to Montgomery March in Alabama, demanding equal voting rights for African Americans. The brutal violence unleashed upon the peaceful marchers, known as Bloody Sunday, shocked the nation and galvanized support for the passage of the Voting Rights Act. This landmark legislation, signed into law later that year, dismantled discriminatory voting practices and expanded access to the ballot for marginalized communities. In the final years of his life, Martin Luther King Jr. focused on tackling economic inequality and poverty through the Po People's Campaign. He sought to bring together diverse groups to demand economic justice and an end to poverty. Unfortunately, he did not live to see the campaign's full realization, as his life was tragically cut short. On April 4, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate to this day. His untimely death sparked a wave of outrage and grief, but his message of equality and justice endured. His impact on civil rights legislation, his role in inspiring social change, and his unwavering commitment to nonviolence have solidified his place as a towering figure in American history. Martin Luther King Jr. devoted his life to the pursuit of equality and justice. His remarkable journey from a young preacher to an internationally renowned civil rights leader continues to inspire generations. As we reflect on his enduring legacy, we are reminded of the ongoing fight for equality and the importance of never losing sight of the dream he so eloquently articulated. Join us in our next episode of Chronicles as we explore the lives of other remarkable individuals and events that have shaped history.